Adrian said a lot of what I was going to say, because as he quite rightly says, I've got a background in farming and therefore know many farmers. And you know, it really is important that we do remember that a lot of farmers don't want their badgers touched in any way. And it's really interesting when I go around the village to find so many farmers that are wanting their badgers to survive, and in other places as well. So, you know, as Adrian says, don't be too hard on the farmers, because remember, the majority of our badgers actually live on farms, and that's why to a certain extent we want to keep them as friends. Over the years, Secret World has been involved with badgers, and particularly with badger cubs. And just as an example, I'm going to tell you about a little cub that we've got in at the moment that's called Diamond Dave. He was brought in about a week ago, was picked up by somebody out walking, thought the badger was going to go, out walking with his dog Jack Russell, who normally kills things, but luckily he picked up this little cub, brought it and dropped it at his feet, and he took it to a garden nursery, and it was then passed on to us. Badgers don't open their eyes until they're 5 weeks old, and he is the size of a cub that is about 2 weeks old. So what's happened is he's come out of the set, he's been able to keep himself warm in the undergrowth, but I reckon he hasn't had any food for at least 2 weeks. Badger cubs are just as strong as badgers, and I want you to remember that, because as I finish my speak, that actually is very important for you to know how long they can survive for. We actually were involved with shot badgers that have been brought into us because sadly we've been close to the Somerset cull. We've seen lots of badgers brought into us, sometimes RTA, but we actually had 3 badgers brought into us from the cull. The first one would have died quickly, but it didn't look very nice because it had been shot through the chest but out through the side, taking the intestines with it. The second one was one that was shot illegally with the wrong ammunition and in the incorrect place, and would have taken several minutes to die. And then we had a third one in the 3rd year as well. So we've seen, unfortunately, what the cull is all about, which is really killing badgers very cleverly, because if a badger is injured, the one thing it will always try and do is to get back to its set. So if they're injured and capable of doing it, they will get back to their set, and we will never see them. And so there's a huge amount of cruelty going on. But I can tell you, as a wildlife rescue centre, not just us but other people are seeing there is a huge increase in badger persecution. And it's not just happening during the culling time, it's happening now. And just as an example, I'm going to get Adrian to stand out the front and show you the photographs. This is a badger that was brought into us on Sunday. One of our staff actually heard shooting. She went out with a friend and found this badger dead, but on a path where she was desperately trying to get back to her set. She's been shot underneath the rib cage, so it would have gone straight through, and the report from the vet said that she would have taken minutes or hours to die because she would have bled out. This is her. The only crime she committed was the fact that she was a badger. And it shows you, if Adrian put it up the other way, you might be able to read the reading, writing. But it just tells you the fact that, you know, the only crime was that she was a badger and she was shot, obviously nowhere near a cull area, nowhere near a time when culling should be going ahead. And that one was brought into us on Sunday. Unfortunately, we were to see that she was a lactating female. And we know from seeing badgers that are lactating that that very small circle around the teat means that she's got very young cubs. And that's what she was trying to get back to. So that's what we have, a young female in good condition. She weighed 10 kilos, shot with a rifle through the abdomen. She would have bled to death or died of shock. Death not likely to be instant, and it would have taken minutes to hours to die. Her cubs will be dying now. They will only be 7 days old, if not less. This is what they're going to look like, and they will be taking their last breaths this weekend. And there's nothing we can do about it. Even if we found the set, even if we heard them crying, we couldn't get down to them. This is happening every night. We have got to stop it. It's not just the cull, it's all the persecution. And it's easy, you know, it's not just badgers. I mean, it's great that we're here for the badgers, but there's out there shooting foxes, the hare coursing. There's just so much going on that we've got to stop. It's really great to see all the different ages here today, because it's the youngsters we want in there to really help us change what is going on in our countryside. Thank you to all of you for coming, and I'll hand you over to the next speaker. Thank you.